Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another ARK bonus, and today I'm just going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on all of the tameable flyers on ARK Survival Evolved. Now, all of the flyers that we're going to be discussing, we're not going to be discussing any tech creatures, so we're not going to discuss tech variants. We're also not going to discuss the Void Worm, the Tech Wyvern of Genesis 2. We're also excluding the Desert Titan. We are simply talking about just flyers that are tameable. We are also excluding the Rock Drake because it is not considered a flyer. It is a glider. Same with Microraptor and Archaeopteryx. And Deinonychus. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first up, the pteranodon. This is probably the first flyer anyone will ever tame in ARK. And pteranodon, they are not the best, but they are really amazing. When it comes to your first time flying, they're your perfect chance of getting airborne. You can explore. The only downside is that their stamina is absolutely atrocious. They don't have that many hit points. Their weight's horrible. They don't have that much melee. They're super fast though, so they got that going for them. But overall, they're a fairly weak flyer, which is unfortunate because they're pretty cool looking. But the main thing about pteranodon that I use them for is for taming argents, luring an argent into a taming pen, or luring any flyer that requires a taming pen into a taming pen. But after that, the pteranodon usually gets retired. Yeah, so that's what I have to say on the pteranodon. If we had a coolness scale on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give a pteranodon a 4. They're cool, but they're not that cool. So next up we have the tapazara, and the tapazara are a big step up for pteranodon. They still have pretty bad stamina, pretty bad weight, not the best hit points, not the best melee. They're a little bit slower than a pteranodon in my opinion, but not by much. But they can latch onto walls if you are a passenger, because you can have multiple people on a pteranodon at a time. Or not pteranodon, a tapazara. Yeah, you can. They are definitely a step up because you can fire your weapon off of it, which is pretty cool. Pteranodons, they are higher level to tame up or to ride. They're also a little bit more difficult because they are skittish. The minute they see you, they're going to take off. So you're going to have to bola them or use a net gun on them while wearing ghillie. But yeah, they're pretty good. And on the coolness scale, we'll call it, from 1 to 10, I give them a 6. They're pretty cool. So the dimorphodon, our first flying shoulder pet. These guys can be your worst enemy, or they can be your best friend. You can use them to destroy beehives. If you level up their melee damage, they also, when you gain aggro from them, they will not attack your dino, they will attack you while you are mounted on your dino. So yeah, their goal is to beat you up first, then your dino. But yeah, these guys, they are super strong. They will just shred you really quick if they get the chance. And they are pretty dang tough, so much so that they are spawned by the dragon as minions to the dragon. Even though the pteranodon are the same, the dimorphodon are a much bigger threat in the dragon fight. So, but yeah, these guys, they're pretty cool shoulder pads. They know how to fight back. And yeah, on a coolness scale, I give them, they're not the best shoulder pad, but on a coolness scale, I give them about a 5. So the quetzal, the biggest flyer on the island, is really, really cool. It's very, very skittish. The minute you smack it, it's just going to fly away. And to tame these guys, you have to be riding on the back of a tapazara in the passenger seat and firing tranq darts and hoping that when you knock it out, it lands in a place where it is not going to get eaten right away. And these guys, the biggest pain in the butt, they never land. They have, when they're wild, it appears they have infinite stamina. They never land, they never get close to the ground. Sometimes they do get kind of close to the ground, but never land. So, and they are incredibly rare as well. But, yeah, they are pretty useful. They can carry a lot, they're very, very slow. But they can carry a lot. Their stamina doesn't go down too fast, but it does go down at a fair old lick. But yeah, these guys are good from carrying heavy items from A to B. They don't get weight reduction on anything, but they are good as carrying things from A to B. And on the coolness scale, I give a quetzal 6 out of 10. So, the onyx. A lot of people forget that onyx are tameable. But you can possibly tame them. They are a passive tame, which means you do have to be very, very careful about it because they are very aggressive and they will give you rabies. So yeah, but onyx, they're not the best because you can't carry them as shoulder pets. They're too big to be a shoulder pet, but they're too small to ride. So yeah, they're mainly just a flying storage box. So yeah, onyx on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd just give them a 2 probably. Now, the argent is not a 2. An argent is probably an 8 because it has weight reduction on so many heavy items. It has weight reduction on stone, metal, obsidian, crystal, just all of the super heavy resources. They don't have weight reduction on things like thatch wood and things like that. Let's see, I think it's thatch, wood, berries, all that stuff. They don't have weight reduction on that. Or pelt, meat, hide. They don't have weight reduction on that. But the stone, the metal, the obsidian, the crystal, such a help. So yeah, these dudes are amazing. You can tame them by just shooting them with tranq darts, but you can lure them into a pen with the pteranodon. And like I said, these guys by far so cool. They are an 8 and they are so worth it when it comes to taming. If you want to play ARK and rule, you gotta get yourself 1 or 2 argents. They are absolutely amazing. So the pelicornus, these guys are so underestimated and so underused. They are amazing for getting organic polymer on the island. they will gather so much organic polymer from when you take out the Kairuku, when the Kairuku are just chilling out on their icebergs. They are the only flyer that can land on water and not have you dismounted the minute it touches water, which is pretty dang cool. They do run away from you the minute you smack them, and their torpor does drop pretty fast. But if you have a good amount of narcotics on you and you have some kibble, you can get a really good pelicornus helping you out. And I would rate them on the coolness scale. I give them a 5 because they don't have the best weight and they don't have the best stamina, but they are really good for organic polymer. Now the ichthyornis, the ones that steal everything you own. They will steal your shotgun, they will steal your narcotics, they will steal your food. They'll start by stealing anything consumable before they start stealing non-consumable stuff. But they are very, very handy. Their main downside, they only eat fish meat once you tame them up. But they are just so helpful with taming other things. They will get you so much raw prime meat and raw prime fish meat. When it comes to taming up other creatures, they will get you prime meat from dodos. So yeah, these guys definitely worth taming. And on the coolness scale, I give them a 7. Yeah, they are just that cool. So now, moving on to the creatures of Scorched Earth, we are starting with the Lemantria, the desert moth. Now these guys, they are the pteranodon of Scorched Earth. They are not very dependable. They are your first flyers that you'll be able to finally get on when you're ready to take flight on Scorched Earth. They have horrible stamina, horrible weight, horrible health, horrible melee. But they do drop a ton of silk. So when you're looking to get that desert cloth armor, go kill some lemantria and harvest them up with a sickle. You'll get so much silk. But they do have what I like to call the fart cloud that drastically reduces your movement speed for a course of, I think, 10 seconds? 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah, so anytime you smack them, they're going to do that. So if you smack them from a distance. But yeah, they are really, really good for silk. If you want to just take general flight, you can tame them up for that. But for the most part, they're just silk. They're just free silk. Now the wyvern, now we're talking powerhouse. The powerhouse on the island is the argent. The powerhouse on Scorched Earth is the wyvern. The wyvern is just so amazing, and they have so many uses, and there's so many types of wyverns. On Scorched Earth there are 3 types. There's fire, lightning, and poison. On other maps there's the ice wyvern. On the custom DLCs there's the ice wyvern. There's also on Crystal Isles the blood crystal wyvern, ember crystal wyvern, and tropical crystal wyvern. Each type of wyvern has their own unique breath attack. They all have a bite attack. They all have a standard wing flap attack, which is a knockback. They are also amazing at gathering thatch and cactus sap. So if you need thatch and cactus sap, get yourself a wyvern. And stealing their eggs, it can be a pain in the butt, so get yourself a really good tapazara. But once you steal that first egg, getting the rest is going to be a breeze. Oh, And on the coolness scale, I don't think I rated the lemantria on a coolness scale. Lemantria gets a 3, wyvern gets a 9. The phoenix, pain in the butt to tame, but super cool. First of all, on the coolness scale, gets a 5 just because it's pain in the butt to tame, and it's like a unicorn. There's only one that spawns, and the way you tame it is you have to incinerate it with a fire wyvern or oil jars or flamethrowers or what have you. So yeah, it's not the easiest tame, and it only comes out during superheat. If there's not superheat, you're not going to find a phoenix, and when superheat ends, it disintegrates. Yeah, so phoenix are very tricky to tame, but once you have one, they only eat sulfur, but they act as a living industrial grill. They will cook up any meat you put in their inventory. They won't eat it, but they will cook it up right quick, right fast. And yeah, so Phoenix, if they weren't so hard to tame, they would be, if there were more than one Phoenix and if their taming requirement were more simple, they would definitely be a lot higher up on the list. I would give them 8, but because there's only one of them and they're so hard to tame and so hard to find, I give them a 5. Now moving on to extinction, you have the snow owl. Now the snow owl is so cool. Snow owl's an 8 right out of the gate. I gotta say that the snow owl's an 8 because they have so many different uses. First of all, they regurgitate owl pellets, which gotchas will collect to help out with crafting stuff, so that's a plus. Number 2, they have a really cool swoop. When you're going, when you're looking to gain some movement speed, just ride the back of them, aim straight towards the ground while holding down shift, and you will just swoop straight to the ground, lift up right before you hit the ground, and you will just take off. It is amazing. They also have night vision as well, which is super cool. And yeah, on extinction, they are found all over the snow biome, and they are just your straightforward knockout tame. So yeah, I definitely give them an 8 on the coolness scale. Now when it comes to Ragnarok, there is the griffin. Now the ice wyvern is also unique to Ragnarok, but it's more common on other maps like Valgaro. Valgaro is the place to go if you're looking for an ice wyvern. But the griffin, which was introduced on Ragnarok, is just absolutely amazing. They have an amazing swoop attack. When you dart towards the ground, they have horrible stamina at first, so you definitely need to work on that stamina. And you can equip your weapon while riding on the back of a griffin, which is pretty dang cool. But yeah, and griffins are your straightforward knockout tame. You are going to need a lot of narcotics if you're not taming them up with kibble. But yeah, for me, griffins are a 7. They're pretty cool, but they're not as cool as one of the next flyers I'm about to show you. So moving on to Fjord, the map just released last month. The Desmodus. This is a beefed up griffin. Desmodus is a 9 on the coolness scale. I absolutely love these guys. They will get you so much spoiled meat so fast. they will get you a ton of blood. So fast. Ton of blood packs. They will craft up. You can craft sanguine elixir in their inventory. Costs 200 blood packs. But once you get desmodus, 200 blood packs, you will have it after killing just a handful of dinos. So that elixir is going to be no problem whatsoever. Getting all those blood packs will be just as easy as picking a bunch of berries with the triceratops. But yeah, that elixir gives you 30% taming effectiveness on creatures that are knocked out, and it also gets you 30% imprint on creatures you're imprinting. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It can save you kibble. Yeah, it's really cool. Plus these guys, you can use your weapon on the back of them. You can latch onto walls like a tapazara. You can hang upside down. Yeah, it's super cool. They also have a screech attack, and they can also turn invisible like a rock drake, but they can only do that at night. They can't do that during the day, unfortunately. But on the coolness scale, these guys are a 9. And the Fjord Hawk is... Where do I start? It's a pain in the butt to tame. Between this and a phoenix, I don't know which is harder. But Fjord Hawks, they tame up best. You have to kill something, and the Fjord Hawk has to harvest it. The problem is, Fjord Hawks often spawn in groups, so you're gonna have to kill the hawks you don't want to tame up, and when you shoot a Fjord Hawk, they all aggro on you. Sometimes you'll luck out and they won't aggro on you. Sometimes they will. Most of the times they will. But yeah, these guys are really cool, and the fact that you die, they will grab all of your stuff that is in your inventory and bring it to whatever bed or sleeping bag you choose to respawn at. Or anywhere you choose to respawn at. It doesn't have to be a bed or a sleeping bag. And they will spawn in right there with you. So yeah, that is pretty dang cool. You don't have to go on a corpse recovery. You'll still see your corpse and that little green light in the sky, but that's because your specimen implant is still there and your corpse has not been harvested. They won't harvest your corpse unless you walk up to your corpse, throw them off your shoulder, and then they'll harvest it up. But yeah, the best way to tame these guys, tame 2 ovis, 1 male, 1 female, breed them, a lot of them, kill the ovis in front of the Fjord Hawk, and let the Fjord Hawk scavenge off the ovis. That will get you a bunch of taming efficiency, because ovis drop mutton. They don't drop regular meat, they drop mutton. Mutton is amazing for taming predators. Fjord Hawks are carnivores. So yeah, but I think that's gonna do it for my little rating. These guys are a 5 because they're so hard to tame. But yeah, that does it for my rating video. I know I forgot, it just hit me, I forgot to include the Tropiognathus on here. The Tropiognathus is a pain in the butt to tame. I give it a 4. Not the best, not the worst. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.